Oh, like prospects. To my other. X, damn. Oh. She. I still think that was funny though. Just X in the background. English. English. English, motherfucker. Do you speak it? What? Say what again? Say what again? I dare you. I double motherfucking dare you. Yeah. Like a couple years ago. Pulp Fiction, of course I've seen it. Dead nigger storage. Excuse me. Was that coughing really loud? Oh wow. I thought it switched to PS camera, but I was like coughing directly into the PS camera. Whew. You know, what I find weird, Wolf, the president of the Mother Charter, he's president of the entire club. and he said that Janzerber said he was going to get in contact with me. It's been 2 days since it happened, and I hadn't heard anything from him, but it's kind of weird. And I don't know if it's just a coincidence or not, but he didn't contact me until a couple hours after I talked to Wolf. Seems a little suspect, if I'm being honest. Yeah. X to doubt. Well, he obviously didn't forget he wrote me, but I mean, I feel like maybe Wolf might have talked to him just so he'd write me. So he's because he's trying to mediate the whole situation. Do you think I should ask for a vote to strike, like corrective action? Vote for him to get it. Like, should I ask for it to be voted so that he'll get a strike? And if he gets 3 strikes, then he'll be removed from his promoted position. I don't know how many strikes he has right now, but if he gets 3, then he'll be removed from his position as VP of Cali. But I mean, of course, if Wolf talked to him about it, and he thinks that corrective action might be taken against him, of course he's gonna apologize. You know what I mean? That's why I think it's suspicious, because he said he was gonna get in contact with me, and then 2 days later, after I talked to Wolf about it, then he gets in contact. You know what I'm saying? But if he really did want to apologize, I don't understand why he wouldn't talk to the people involved first. I mean, I guess he would ask for advice from somebody, maybe. Damn. Oh. Talking about Jans? Oh. Then why'd you say just kidding? He's an NPC. Oh. What were you saying though? What were you saying? No, you were about to say something a second ago. I don't fucking know. Cause you're like, shut the fuck up, and then you went to say something, and then I started saying stuff. I don't know, you went to say something, Void. What were you gonna say? What? Void? No, I'm just saying, say where you're... Say where you're gonna say... What you were gonna say. I'm the only one who knows that. Okay. I don't want to talk to him in chat, though. If I'm going to talk to him, I want to talk to him in party. Which I'm about to invite him, actually. I'll invite him to the party. Yeah, I mean, don't mute me so you guys can hear what he's saying, but... You know what I'm saying? I am, fuck. 31 mutual friends, Jesus Christ. Plus I'm streaming right now, so everybody will be able to hear, whoever watches will be able to see what he says. So, yeah. Why the hell is he using so much supplies? Shouldn't have to fucking resupply like 6 times to get it full. What the hell? I want it that away. God, why is it stuck in my head? Shitty ass song. Tell me why. Tell me why you're such a bitch. Tell me why you're a fucking nigger. I want to kill you. So, what's up? Voig. I don't know. What's up? That's what I was asking. You got a mic, Jans? Jans? Hello? Hello?
Oh, sorry, brother. Sorry about that.
Wait, what?
I just got my headsets. Yeah, sorry about that day of patching, bro. I'm truly fucking sorry about that shit, bro. I was in a bad spot this week. I'm really sorry about that shit. And after the killing, you are so fucking good. That just switched me more, bro. I mean, I'm truly sorry, bro. I talked about Wolfman about this. They said, because I apologized on the chat, they said I'm not going to take corrective action, but I told Wolfman they still need to do it and give me a strike about it. So I don't want to go lightly about this shit. They need to go hard on me. So, yeah. I got a strike on my name. It's not your fault, it's truly my fault. I shouldn't have joined that session completely.
I don't really know what to say, to be honest.
I know, bro.
Wait, what the?
I know. It's just this past few months with the, I don't know if you know about the club stuff, what happened about with the old players that left and with
Miramac and all that. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and all that still has a little bit of a grab on me because I am a big sentimental guy. I am very sentimental. And to lose friends and players out of the game, yeah, that's hard, and I still didn't recover out of it. Sorry, I'm just not speaking so nicely because you know English is not my first language.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I'm talking so between shit. That's why you will send in a message and what I say can be maybe two different stuff.
I mean, I got the gist of what you were trying to say. I mean,
the whole thing started because I joined the session and I didn't know what was going on in the session. And because of the bylaw that we can't kill each other and that stuff, and because the hunting thing was on, and my nephew was with me and he was sitting next to me, so he saw the shot and that stuff, and when I got back, I thought the hunt was still on, you know, with the overhead display still off and all that shit. And but I should have listened to what the people said when I should have backed off. But I will give it to you, brother. You're really good in shooting, and that's why I was keep coming at you just to get to get my kill back. I don't care about my kill to death ratio and all that shit, because I always focus more on the racing. But just to see how you was, and yeah, and then when that message popped up in the main chat, yeah, that was fucking disgusting about me. What I said, I wasn't myself.
Again, I really don't even know what to say. I mean, I was mainly upset because, you know, Olin Brew had typed about the event and stuff in the chat, and you know, we were in game chat and stuff, and you know, he had explained the rules and everything, and it just felt like because OP or Normal Kid, when he shot your car, or you, it seemed like it looked like on my screen like he just shot your car, and he said, "Oh shit, I'm sorry," because he thought you were trying to kill us. That it was part of the event, because during the event after Olin Brew was killed, we just kind of all agreed it would be a free-for-all, and then he just thought that you were, you know, coming up and trying to kill us.
No, yeah, that free-for-all thing, I didn't properly listen because I wasn't on my headsets, because I was finding my headsets, but after I saw that once, I thought it was you, because you and something, so you both had the same color, and I think I didn't put my overhead display, because I think I shot one normal kid 2 times, and I was like, fuck, that's not you, because it says on my PlayStation 1 normal kid, and I'm not aiming for one normal kid, I was aiming for you. But yeah, and even though when I was going for you, I wasn't doing out of anger, except when you got too many kills. Yeah, that got me a little bit to my head. But yeah, that was not right about me.
Yes. I just feel like it was a bit much to go from like him shooting your car to go immediately to explosive rounds. Like,
no, not even that. But I was also being pressured, because I was just a patch member a few months, and then with all this stuff with the charter, with the Cali charter that lost what is his name, our old president, White Widow, when you lost White Widow, 40 Miller, and then John came in because the Cali charter was getting down, and I like Cali, I like the, you know, the crew emblem, all that stuff on the games. And it really, this past 2 months was really hard on me. Like I said, I'm really a sentimental guy, and I thought you were really just a prospect, not a patch member, and that's why I got so rude.
Okay. When you said prospect, I thought you might have been talking to Normal Kid, just because he's been a member less time than me. But
yes, no, I thought you were a prospect, and you didn't know what's going on more in the club, and that's why I got so rude up with you, because just to get you in line. But actually, you do know what's going on, and like Olin Brew said to me, you are a great player, and you are in this club for quite a while, and I didn't know it. So that's why I felt very shit about it, because all the people that are patch members, I'm getting great, or we are good friends. I don't have problems with all my patch members. So even with the prospects, I will not even do it with the prospect, but if it gets to that point, yeah, but it's not right. Like I said, as a VP, and I'm not a VP for long. I was like VP for like 2 weeks now.
That's why I feel like it mainly upset me. Just because you're promoted, and it just felt like it wasn't something a promoted person should do. That's why I would get even though I wasn't directly really part of what happened with Miramac, it just mainly upset me, especially because he was counsel, and just I feel like that's not how promoted should act. You know what I mean?
Yes, oh, not even a promoted, but as a VP also, yes. Yeah. Because I said to the group, because they think I check what Wolfman said, just to be 100% sure, because I don't think you are in the council chat.
No, I'm former enforcer in Nomads. I'm just full patch now.
because Miramax, Wolfman sent me a message and told me just to make sure you get with Arista and try to get him settled. Let's try and get this mediate instead of using corrective action. And I was like, thank you, Prez, but now I will prefer strike on my land, let me start learning, otherwise it's going to happen maybe. So I am standing on a strike 1 or maybe on a strike 2. They're going to tell me soon what strike I'm on, because if I'm on strike 2 I only have 1 strike list left and then I'm out of the SOA club, and we have this new thing that we blacklist players. So if I do this again, I will be blacklisted and be out of the club and can't have a chance to return anyways. So
Okay.
and even after this story with me, I really felt shit. Not that same day, but the morning after, when I woke up and I went to the chat again, you know, I really feel shit about this. How I treated you, how I treated everybody. I was basically rude with the whole SOA club. I mean, I dropped the morale of the patching because I saw just right after the patching everybody went to Red Dead and switched to different games. So that means I really did screw up patching night on Saturday. Really bad. About stupid shit, actually. That was my fault.
Yeah.
So I would understand when you told Wolfman it was childish. I would understand that part. I won't, like I said, you are a great player, bro. You really.
Yeah.
So I'm basically trying to advertise the SOA more than to game with the SOA, you know?
Yeah.
So really, bro, I'm seeing psychiatrists and all that shit about my anger shit, because I do have a problem in real life with my anger, with my mood, all that shit. And with my last case that I got, when I got in a fight at the mall with the other guy, they put me in this psychiatrist that helps me, and if I don't do it, I will get maybe 2 months jail time about this shit. But I'm working on it.
Jeez.
I wasn't like this before, but after my father passed away a few years ago, I changed a lot with my anger and stuff. But yeah, I will work on it, brother. Just want to say it was fucked up, and I'm sorry, bro. I'm really sorry.
Okay. I mean, I accept your apology. I just, what was I gonna say? When I talked to Wolfman, he was asking if I'd want to, you know, vote, like, ask for a vote to get you striked.
Yes.
I just said I wasn't sure because I wanted to talk to you in a party, actually, you know, instead of just through chat or whatever, and actually, like, talk to you face to face, kind of. And just because, I mean, it's good that we waited a couple days after we cooled off a little bit, because I feel like I was pretty damn angry as well, but I just said that I wasn't really sure about corrective action, that I want to actually talk to you and get your perspective on the whole situation and stuff first.
Yes, but like I said for Wolfman, I said they must take corrective action against me, because it happened to me when I was a patch member. It happened to me when a president, well, not one president, a few. It was Boat. Mac also went for me for the racing because he called me a hacker and that stuff. And yeah, I also had a few, you know, high-ranked guys that went for me that was also in council and shit, and they got their corrective action against them. So what I did is not basically different against what they did.
Yeah.
I did basically the same like they did. focused on a different person. So I said Wolfman is not right to, you know, to calm down or to correct it. I think I must go forward with it. If there's often I need to go forward, I will take my strike, and I am a person that will accept when I'm wrong. I will accept it. I'm not a guy that will say, no, fuck that, it's a lie, it's a lie the whole time. No, I will think about it. That's why, like you said, it's good to have a few days to think about what we did and that stuff. But it wasn't you, brother. It didn't do anything. It's all on me. I snapped, I got angry, I started it. It's all on me. I will accept my strike. And if I was on my last strike, I would have accepted the kick also. So I am that type of guy that will accept his wrongs and rights. That's what's made me a little bit different. I think that's why Wolfman likes me so much. Because I can admit to stuff. But
that's what you're saying. You know, people like Miramac and stuff that did stuff like that to you, and people that were in council or promoted. I feel that that's good, that you're different from them in that aspect. That, you know, like with Miramac and stuff, you know, he'd, you know, kind of say he was sorry and stuff, and it didn't really felt like he, you know, meant it at all. And he would just go right back to doing what he did, and just, I mean, he went way farther than you did. I mean, real life stuff. I'm sure you already know the whole situation, but
Because I said to Wolfman, if this really happens again, even though they don't vote me out of as VP, I will step down as Vice President of California. If this happens again, I will step down just as a past member, because I mean, you need to be voted out against how many strikes you have. So if I don't have the quantity of strikes, I will rather remove myself than to be voted off. I think it's a little bit worse to get voted off than just to step down, because if you step down, I think you get a little bit more of respect.
It's like dishonorable discharge versus leaving yourself.
Yes, because like TJ said to me, he's in the California charter. He said there's a lot of people underneath me that has a lot of potential to do recruiting, because I struggle with the recruiting part, because in South Africa, like the time now in South Africa, it's almost 11 p.m. So to game with randoms, to get randoms in and that stuff, and to communicate with them with this time, you know, I'm not going to be so effective, you know, like during the day. So which charter are you in at the moment?
Wait, what?
Which charter are you in at the moment?
Full patch nomads.
Nomads? Nomads is a great charter. Nomads is a good charter. But, like Wolfman always said, you know, communication is key. And what I should have done in that session was actually to grab my headset, go on the chat, and actually talk it out. Then to go on the SOA chat, and to shit you out on that. And then the worst part is everybody knows. And then, and
then the only reason I kept posting about it in group chat is because every time I went to go to your profile, whether it's through the SOA chat or like looking you up on the like friends list thing, it kept going to home screen, and you were saying before that you wouldn't accept an invite to a party or anything to talk about it, and so I wouldn't have kept posting if it wasn't for that.
I'm so sorry about that. Yeah, that's the thing I can do with my router, with the PlayStation, to get that like almost glitch out if you can't invite me to it. About that. Yeah, I should have changed it back actually. I did it a few hours ago. I changed the settings and all that stuff back to normal, the internet speed, because you can, with the PlayStation 4 Pro, you can actually drop your internet speed. Like, that's weird.
What, in the MTU settings?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because of my old PS4 Pro, because, you know, when the first PS4 was released, it wasn't, the MTO thing wasn't really working on that system. And when the PS4 Lite came out, and I think in a certain year, I think after 2015, I think the normal PS4 has changed. But
Yeah, I
on my
can
old
change MTU
PS4,
settings on mine. I don't think... I mean, when the PS4 originally came out, there was another glitch you could use to get solo sessions and stuff, and you didn't have to change your MTU settings. You could just
yeah,
pretty much
but
go
I
to your
tried to-
internet settings and it would lag you out automatically.
Yes, when I did that at MTO settings in a public session, my whole PSN was disabled. Like it didn't want to sign in. So when I go back to GTA, I am in a public session.
Yeah.
Or sometimes it says PSN not working or errors, then it kicks me back to all the way to GTA 5 story mode. That pissed me off. Because I think after this third last update, I think when they did on GTA the DLC for the Doomsday Heist, everything fucking changed and it was a fuck up for me. But now with this new PS4 Pro that I'm getting working, it's a little bit better. And I want to give my old one to 40. That 40 can get back to the Cali charter that I can step down back as road captain or something. That he can take the president spot over, because I heard 40 is sitting without a PS4. And I have 2 of them anyway. Well, actually 3, because I bought my brother one. I have 2. I have basically like 3 consoles on my name that I'm paying PSN for.
Okay.
No, I'm paying 2 PSNs. One console is sharing. My brother's sharing with me on the PS4 now.
I just
I
would...
see Island Brewers are...
What?
Oh, sorry, you can speak? No, just wanted to tell Island Brewers happy that he's seeing us in the party chat.
Oh, okay. I just... With the whole situation, while I do feel that it was kind of uncalled for, and that it was... because during events, you know, we always use game chat and stuff, and I figured, you know, you'd looked at the chat messages where Owen Brew had said, and I just thought you knew the event was going on and that you were doing it on purpose out of anger or something. But
No, I was the whole time I was looking for my headsets, and my nephew told me this shit, and I was like, fuck that. When I'm getting my full drink and stuff, I'm killing people. But yeah, that's actually my nephew that stirred me up with the shit. Meanwhile, I should have just waited and see what he did next, actually, and just chilled out, you know?
yeah.
Fucking family.
No. And the only reason I actually, because after you shot my car and stuff with the explosive rounds, I just got the 1 kill back. And that's why I was getting upset, is because you came back after I just got my kill back and, you know, left and started doing my own thing again.
Yeah, I thought that was you trying to do, was get your kill back all the time. Yeah, that was...
Yeah. I just gotten the 1 back and then I left, and then you had gotten the jet, and I was like, what the hell?
And the only reason is I go into passive mode is just let me get to my vehicles, because fuck, sometimes I get so killed, and then at the time when I get to my jet, because you know a jet takes a while to get in the air, and with the suppressors, they can take me out fucking like just like that if I don't go to passive. So when you will see, if I destroy my jet and we are like in a war with other players or other crew, I will go to passive just to get my jet again, and then when I'm in the air, then I will go out of passive again. But just to get my vehicle. Otherwise, if I see you don't use your oppressor or the guy who I'm fighting with, I will not switch to my jet, because then I like to have that real fight, you know, this times. And yeah, when you pop up that message on the XO8, that's why I sent it to you, that message that said fuck. So yeah, that was not right. Because I know better, and I know how I was treated with promoted people, and I fucking did it the same. That's fucking disgusting. But I'm glad we can talk it out, because I don't like to hold grudges and stuff.
Yeah.
And
I can understand
and I will learn about this, bro. And this is not gonna. I don't want it to happen again, because the feeling I got from this morning and yesterday. It's just unbelievable. Can't tell you. And you don't know how silly I feel. It's like I'm so ashamed that I don't want to even join a session, anything about it.
I'm.
No, I'm glad that Erlen Blue says that the only person that called me a hacker and a cheater was Miramac, and aside from the whole club, and the whole club lost against me. I'm really good on online rating. I'm really good.
At racing?
Yeah,
That,
I do racing and I do racing in real life also. I'm not track racing. I do drags. I do drag racing for a lot. I have my own shop. I work on cars. That's why I'm so grumpy and fucking shit. That's why I said this week and this past few months, it's fucking hard because every time at the end of the year, the events pop up for the drags and you need to go to Nigeria or it's South Africa or it's basically more based in America, and I need to go there and race. So you need to have your cars prepped, you need to test, you need to do late nights, and I test because you see I can't test at the track. So what I do is I have a piece of road close to it's about 15 k's away from my house, close to a dam, and it's very remote, not a lot of houses, not a lot of police, and my drag was hard. You can hear it. If I started just the idling, it's more than my bike. The idling, that thing is loud, and if I do burnout and I do my testing on the street, it's scary because
Yeah.
it's not that the cops can lock you up because it's illegal to have that type of car with wheelie bars on the road. In America, you can have wheelie bars on and all that stuff, but you must have tires with brakes in a few states. In South Africa, it's completely doesn't matter where you live. It's completely illegal to have that car on the road with that noise that it makes from the exhaust because it's too much. It's over 160 decibels. 160 decibels is more than competition sound
Yeah.
at any event. So more than 160 because I think the decibel rating now I think it's 55, 54. Any 10 decibels above 50, you can get a $10,000 fine per 10
There's
decibels.
law. It was passed sometime either last year, like at the beginning of this year or something. There's a law in California. You couldn't have it was exhausts that were over a certain decibel amount. I don't remember exactly what it was.
Yes.
And there's a lot of
Yeah, they nailing
and
it.
there's a lot of car people in California too, and so that was really upsetting to a lot of people.
No, I mean, I had a shit year this year with racing because I did try to do. I went to Japan this year. I think it was March or April. I went to Japan just to go do drifting events, and I lost a few a car with that. I lost my Corolla, and my Corolla was my everything because it was my first car that I got in high school. My first car I souped up. I was qualified. I'm 24 now. I qualified on 16 with mechanics. On 16, I qualified. I did my masters on 17. I got my master's degree. I started working on 16 and I did school at the same time. So that was difficult shit, but it's fun racing, but it's I don't know. It's just too much sometimes because you have. I mean, in our country, the political side of it's difficult because the government restricts you to have
Whoa.
fucking with the BE stuff. It fucks me up because I get fines every year because the government says you must have 75% black working for you on your business. If you don't have 75% black workers working for you, you get a fine. So I have fines and all that shit that's getting to me and everything because the people that's coming to me doesn't have the qualifications. But the government pushes them and forces them into the work job, into the job description. But the problem is they're not qualified. You know what shit I'm sitting with when those fuckers work on my car? I'm sitting with shit, stuff that's
But
unbalanced. Can't get my cars right.
But
I have problems.
what kind
I can't
of
sit with problems.
what kind of car do you have?
Sorry? Well, I did first with a 1969, the second generation Corolla. I did that one with the 2JZ. It was a Supra Mark 4, Supra 2004, one of those 2004 Supra motors that I took and I souped it up and I made it ethanol. It's ethanol injected. It's not normal fuel that's running through.
It's not naturally aspirated. I'm saying? Or
well, normally aspirated means the car doesn't have a turbo on.
yeah, or supercharger.
Or a turbo. But the octane levels in the fuel of a normal car is very low against an ethanol.
Like 100 SM, yeah.
Yes, the fuel is more like, how can I say it, more flammable than the normal fuel. And if I run that fuel through the engine, it needs to be cooled. And the only way you can get it cooled, if you take your main tank, you fill it up with ice. You need to fill it up with ice, then throw the quantity of fuel in. Then you have a special fuel pump that removes the water quantity and the fogginess out of the fuel that moves into the second tank, and from the second tank it moves to the motor clean. Then it's cooled down. So it's a process, and it's not a normal technician that works by BMW or any technician that works, or even a master technician from BMW, will not understand what's wrong with my drag car if it doesn't boost. You know, if you a timing on a BMW comes from the ignition timing. I have three stuff that I need to time in. I have ignition timing, I have coil, and I have a rotor that I need to set up. You know that rotors you get on the carburetor motors? I have that fucking thing on a fuel injected, basically on a fuel injected engine with a coil pack with the ignition firing. I have three stuff that's running my timing on that engine. Three fucking stuff. Now you have the foiling suspension. That's the important thing of all. If your foiling suspension is not set up right and gives you rear steer when you go down the strip, or when you hit the trans brake and you get out of the first 60 foot, you rear steer the drag car, not front steer. Your steering doesn't come from your front wheel, it comes from your rear wheels.
Well, because they're spinning out, or does the car actually have a rear wheel steering?
Well, no, the wheelie bars, because it hits the wheelie bars, you can use your wheelie bars as an art. So if it slams on the wheelie bars, your wheelie bars will push your car into a certain direction. So if I'm at 2,000 horsepower and the car goes to the right the whole time, what I will do is I will change the suspension on the foiling. I will set it more down, so let it basically
be stiffer.
Set the right height. Set the right height lower, so it slams more on the wheelie bars. But you have wheelie bar settings also. So the left bar will be higher than the right bar, or the right bar will be higher than the left bar, because I will say to my guy, okay, this track looks like this. I saw this guy going through it. He went shit through it. So put my right side of the wheelie bar on 3.4 inches and put my left side of the wheel on 2.8 inches. You can't put them the same because it's not going to push the car correctly. So if you go right, you raise the right side of the wheelie bars. If you go to the left, you raise the left side of the wheel. You can use your wheelie bars as an art to get your car through down the strip. That's why they put wheelie bars on, not to prevent it from wheeling, it's to push the car more forwards into a certain direction where you want it, where you set it up to. For all no prep tracks, I lost a few cars from no prep, where I slammed against the wall because I was running nitros. Nitros, I think it's old technology. I was running nitros at the first. And with the V8 block, if your nitros is not sticking correct on the right side of the block, the flames out of the exhaust will push your car. So like for instance, say now I have a bad piston on number 7, but it's on the right side of the block because you have 2 exhausts that's coming out of each side. Each exhaust for each head, because you have 2 different heads. You have the right head and the left head. But if your nitro starts spinning more on the left, the flames is getting more on the left exhaust. So that flame will push the car to the right if your flames is not the same on the right. That's how you know you have a bad piston or a bad sleeve or something in that compartment is not right.
Yeah.
I have a few guys, even that I got this one friend, he had his brother's doing his master, what do you call it in English, it's also mechanics, but he does it at a university. I can't get the name of it now in English. But yeah, what he's studying is basically what my car does. The programming, you do the boost self, you do your own tuning.
Yeah.
If you do your tuning wrong, you often lose power where you think makes more. So dyno is key to cars. And for all your tuning, you play with boost. I mean, if my car doesn't perform, I don't take it to a guy to get it fixed. I fix it myself. I figure out myself, why is this fucking thing 2 seconds slower than the last one? Why is it 2 seconds slower? And that's how I learned my tuning on the laptop and all that stuff, to raise the fuel pressure, to raise the bulb on the boost, to raise all that cock. That stuff, it took me a while to learn, and like this week I got it bad because I have a 1970 GTO that I sent it away 2 days ago to the chassis guy to get bars added, because it's gonna pull the chassis narrow, and if it pulls the chassis inwards, it's fucked. And you can't remove the body from the chassis, because on the 1970 GTO the body is integrated with the chassis. That's the problem. Now they want to put fucking bars. Oh, so what they did with I don't have a bonnet. The car doesn't have a bonnet. They cut it. I cut it that far off. They fitted me a Profab racing chassis on it, so I have a cover that's been made to look like it's a 1970 GTO at the front. It's a clip on. Take 6 clips and you remove the whole thing. If you remove the whole thing, you can see the shocks, you can see the chassis, you can see the engine. So it makes my work easier to do engine overhauls. But the problem is now they want to add bars over the motor, because that guy's mathematical equation says the bars need to be added across the motor, otherwise it's going to be rigid if I race. And I talked about a guy in America that has the same car as I did, and he also has a 1970 GTO brains, but he uses the Pontiac motor, where I use what's that engine called in English? Can I get it on it now?
Like a LS?
It's a Pro,
or
a Proline. Proline.
Okay.
I'm running Proline, and Proline is one of your best racing engines that you can get on the market today. And I'm running Proline, and he's running Pontiac, and he's making 2,500 horsepower on his. And he says he doesn't have a lot of chassis issues, but he says every 2 years he needs to redo the bars, because you have a crossbar. It's a bar they add behind your gearbox, where 2 power out of the chassis that connects to a middle piece. That middle piece will show you how much your chassis will move and how stable the chassis is. If it shows hairline cracks, you know your chassis is not well and it's not stable, or it can't handle the power that the engine makes. So he said to me the bars over the engine, because that car of him also needs that, and my car needs it also. But if we do it, we're gonna fucking have issues with engine work. And if I do drag racing at the strip and my engine trips, it gives me 30 minutes to get the engine done and ready for the next round to race. If I can't get the car ready in 30 minutes for the next round, you're done. You're out. then the guy does a solo by himself because you can't raid. That happened to me a lot. Edit on the car is not fitted correctly, or it's not on the right places. Car's moving, the car has its own mind. Now it goes straight, you take horsepower out of it, then it goes to the right, it goes to the left, you change suspension, it does the same. It doesn't matter what you do. I changed tires, I went from Mickey Thompson's, I went to Goodyear, racing tires, that didn't help. And I started playing with small tires. I played the biggest small tire vent. So the biggest tire you can put on for a small tire vent is a 22-inch tire. And when I put that on and I adjusted the bar boost and the fuel pressure to the small tire settings, the car did brilliant. It's fucking running brilliant. So for small tire vents, the Mustang works. But now I need something for the big tire events, because if I run against a big tire, he's gonna put 3 seconds or more on me at the finish line. So it's not good to take a big tire car. Or maybe if the guy doesn't know what he does, or he overpowers the road, yeah, then I will sling past him. But otherwise, no. I will just have a good show seeing how the guy passes the finish line. But the Mustang has problems. This past few months he didn't open. I had 2 parachutes, and what happened was the cable was worn for some reason. It had slack, and only the left parachute opened and not the right. And what happened was the car feel air coming inside. Now what happens if you get air inside your cabin, where your cabin is, and it had pressure and it lost cabin pressure? It shoot off your door, or it will shut off something, or it will cause a massive vibe. You know when you ride with the window open on the highway, like say now you have a 4-door car and you have the left, only the left rear window open. You know that wind noise that comes in that goes woo, 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 woo,
Yeah.
woo, woo, woo. Now on a drag car, because you're doing like 200 miles in a few seconds, that cabin pressure drops so much it pops off the door like a balloon that pops. So that's fucking scary. And if you even if you have a oil spill, you need to fucking clean it yourself. That takes a while. For when you did a whole fucking 400 feet, you need to clean that whole 400 feet with chemicals, and you need to burn it off. You can't smudge it. You can't stand there with a broom and just try to rub it out. No, you need to rub it out, liquidize it, then burn it. And then you need to do it like a few times to get the oil off. That's fucking shit. Yeah, I had my fair share of problems in cars, eh?
Yeah. Just real quick, you said you had a Corolla with the 2J Z swap?
I swapped the Corolla. I had 2 of them, because I had a second one that I tried to do something on it, but I never had the chance. So it had the original.
Just use it as a parts car?
Yes, and there was when I was racing, there was a guy when I got this Super, this ever, and I can't find one. They're so rare in this country.
Yo, you
I
got
need
an
to go
A80? The Mark IV?
I got the 2005 RZ. I have the RZ, the 2.5. It's actually a 2.5 V6 twin turbo. It's not a straight six nothing. It's actually V6, and it's a 2JZS motor. You will check it out. It has a quad cam in with the 32 valves, all that shit. It's the proper one. It's the proper one. I had the 2.5 straight six conversion in the Corolla. That wasn't the V6 engine. That was the straight.
The straight six,
But
yeah.
this one I have is not a straight six. It's a V6. And the engine model number and everything matches with Toyota because I was a Toyota
It was all
technician.
OEM?
It was all perfect because I thought it was, because when I got the car at the house and I had the paperwork at me and I check it out, I was like, fuck, this is, because it sounds correct. When the guy started the car and when we raced, I could hear this is a proper Mark IV Supra. You can hear the Supra sound in it.
Yeah.
And when I opened the block, I saw this is not a fucking Supra block. This thing, the pistons is not lying correctly. It's a V shape. It's not an inline setup. So yeah, when I checked out the model numbers and that stuff, it came back from my one technician. He checked it out on the web. If you are a technician at Toyota, you get a technician number. You can type that number in on this site, and you can check from what you call that stuff when you call breaks and it's not your fault, the company's fault. What's that called again? Warranty shit.
Yeah.
And go into warranty part stuff, see if there's any recall, all that stuff on the vehicles, and he checked the model number. I mean, he said, yeah, they did a RZ version for 2 years. That's why they're so rare, because in that 2 years, that block made 60 kilowatt more than any Supra engine that came out from Toyota. So that was their boss motor.
Yeah.
Even I test drove this new one because I was thinking of buying the new
Mark
one
V?
because I don't like it. It has, you know what now? Why did I put in 7-speed transmissions? Because 7-speed transmissions, the gear ratios is so fucking close.
It's better
so
for
close.
it's better for fuel.
It's
It's
better
at
for
least
track.
Yeah.
If you do a lot of cornering, you can feel the car sets in perfectly. But I think the whole thing for me, what I'm wanting to do, the car's not built for it. I think for standard, it's fine, but for super up and customizations, it's not a good car. It's not a good car like the Mark IV. The Mark IV, I would say, it's the best Japanese engine they ever made. Even better than the RB34. I had a RB34 that I put in a. That's the Skyline GTR that Paul Walker drove in Too Fast Too Furious. I had that engine. It's also a 2.5 V6. I had an engine in a 1800 S6 and Nissan 1800 S6 because we didn't got the 200 S6. Even the 240 S6 we didn't got. We only got the 180 S6 in South Africa. So I had a 180 S6 with a RB conversion in it. But that
honestly, the 180 is probably the best looking in my opinion.
It is the best looking, the 180. I like the 180 shape because I saw the 200. I didn't like it because it has those two bubbles at the back of the brake light, and I didn't like that two bubbles it had. I like mine more because mine was it the 98 or was it the 99? It was a 98. Yeah, it was a 98 180 SX. And that thing fucking ran well because it made 560 kilowatt on the rear wheels. But because I didn't have a 4-wheel drive system in it, that torque of that RV motor is too much for that weight of that vehicle and the quantity of the wheels it has. It's ridiculous. Because the one time I tried to pull in by the garage pro fuel and then I tried to be a big ass and I just dropped the clutch a little bit just to show the guy, hey, I'm here. And when I did that, the car almost slid me into the fuel pumps. And that's where my mom decided that's fucking enough. If I don't sell the car, she's not gonna speak to me anymore. So just to get stuff calm down with my family, I sold the car. I sold it and it was pearl. It was a shitty pearl because the guy, the pearl they showed me and the pearl it came out, yeah, it wasn't the same. Because I asked for a more yellowish pearl with a slight green in it with a 5% purple layer that shined through the green a little bit. When the car came out, it looked orange. It was, if you look at from the side, it was more purple. I don't see any green on it, so so that pissed me off a little bit because the car came out wrong.
Honestly, like, I don't have a car right now, but I was thinking about getting a 350Z, or do you, I was gonna say Z, do you guys say Z or Z?
Oh, you see, we still see the 350Z actually, yeah, we still see Z. It's the best way actually. But the 350 is a good car. It's normally aspirated.
Yeah.
It doesn't give you a lot of mechanical problems. Or when you buy it in a good condition.
A lot of people don't like the sound of it though. Especially because, at least in America, a lot of people use these big titanium exhausts that have like a really, like resonant sound. And so it just sounds really like resonant and raspy and gross. Like it just doesn't sound good.
What I mean, people don't understand about stuff that makes a lot of noise. Okay, I would understand it was a drag engine or an engine that makes 800 horsepower or more. I would understand why it's loud. But to take something you didn't really customize and to throw on that exhaust, you're just wearing out your motor more because the vibration that the exhaust causes on your valve stem seals, on the springs of the valve. You don't understand how much pressure you put on your car's head with that type of exhaust if you don't do the proper stuff on your head. The people throws on like this other guy. He throwed it a free flow on. I had like 2 years ago. I had a Golf 4. Yeah, it was the Golf 4 GTI. And that thing, I took out that engine because it comes out with a twin cam. I think it was a twin cam 20 valve. It's a 1.8 liter 20 valve motor twin cam. And I shoot that thing up with 400. And I got a guy that did the same, but he had a full free flow exhaust. Mine didn't have a full free flow exhaust. Mine had the proper silencer boxes on. I put the proper catalytic converters on that thing, and mine was faster than his, and it was lights on too. And we both make the same power, but mine is better.
Yeah.
For some reason, because mine is built better. To do catalytic converters on stuff is expensive. A catalytic converter is fucking expensive.
Yeah. If I was gonna get a 350Z or Z, however you say it, I was like, I wouldn't really do anything with the exhaust, at least at first, until, I mean, I would probably just get some coilovers, maybe eventually save up for a nice set of like 3-piece rims, 3-piece wheels, and maybe a small turbo or something, but I wouldn't go crazy overboard with it. I would probably go with coilovers first and maybe a short shifter or something, honestly.
If you want something that's very good on fuel, that runs very well, and I was impressed when I worked on that car, and that's the Renault Sandero, that new 900cc turbos. That fucking stuff.
Yeah. You said an Audi? Like, yeah. By the way, you're talking about the Mark V Supra and stuff, and how you don't like about how they have the 7-speed. But I mean, I can kind of understand, because people who are just normal Supra enthusiasts but don't really want to upgrade anything and want a new Supra, and it's good for daily driving because, you know, especially on the highway and stuff, if you know you're not driving it hard and you're at, you know, low RPM and stuff, you're not using as much fuel, and you know you're not having to worry about it being as squirrely and torquey if you're using that on a going around corners and stuff. I mean, I haven't driven one, but you said you drove one. Did it feel like really grounded? Like, did it feel like it was? Oh no, the Mark V, not the Mark IV. The new one.
I have two of them, so it's 800 horsepower just on the turbos. Now I'm not talking about what the engine still does. The engine produces now, normally with the head now, and I have this new coated pistons in to not burn a hole in the piston. And with this new pond rods in this head, my engine makes on normally aspirated 560. With this new turbo system, it can go more than 1,000, but because I'm not running ethanol injected, it overheats. So I pushed the car and I pushed the turbos a little bit down, so it averages now 800, about between 8 and 900. But with the gearbox, it had input shaft problems because the gearbox couldn't handle the torque and that shit. So I removed the gearbox and I put in a Rosler 3-speed racing transmission with a trans brake on. So it has a trans brake. So now I can build boost at the start line, and I can flick it, because if you put your trans brake on, it puts the car in reverse and first gear. So it's in 2 gears one. So what it does is, you will see if I bump in my car, if I boost, it takes 5 seconds. New conversion where this new turbos is coming out with a battery engine.
You got to get either smaller turbo or launch control or something, but you got to worry about with launch control, blow the engine.
It removes the lag. The boost is immediate.
Yeah.
But the problem is they don't have a track like a racing setup of those turbos. So I tried it on my drag car. My drag car wasn't happy about it, because it was faster on the cooler way, but it's not faster on the long run, like at the last 60 feet of the race. It's slow. So I will be ahead of the guy, and then all of a sudden he will be past me, like he will run past me like if he has like 60 miles per hour above me actually. So that pissed me also. Racing.
Do you normally do quarter miles or like half mile, or what do you?
No, I do half mile and quarter mile because in South Africa quarter mile is more. Well, actually in South Africa it's only quarter mile because the tracks are only made quarter mile. But I realized when I went to America, yeah, it's
Is it
different
because
you have
yeah, cars
you have the
becoming so
half mile.
powerful and like these crazy drag cars that there's like
It's not that because the drag tracks we have here was built in the 1900s. They didn't
yeah
think about the half mile stuff. So if you race on a strip that's half mile, you will know it's that track was built 1980s or earlier.
yeah.
But anything quarter mile is all tracks. It was the first beginning stage of drag racing. But I want to do top fueler competitions because when my grandfather passed away, I got 2 top fuelers from him, and I sold one. That's how I got quite good money to start this racing career of mine, because I got 800 grand for my top fueler. But I
Jeez.
still have one left, and the problem is it's a blower engine. It doesn't have
Yeah.
a starter. So to start the engine, you need to throw fuel inside the blower and to get it started. And that's a problem because if you throw too much fuel and or
And
too
flood it.
less, you will flood it, or you will break something, or it will snap a con rod, or it will burn the pistons, or it will push through the oil rings, and then you will start seeing oil pushing out. So I have some issues with the thing getting it started. It's not the engine, it's me not understanding how it works properly. And my grandfather was good in it, but I don't want somebody else to work on the car, to hire a guy to know what he does.
You don't
And
want to
then
mess it up.
when he's not gonna mess it up, but I want to know, I want to learn. I learned the hard way. I want to know why am I doing this, and that thing is it's its first engine overhaul it had now, and I didn't even did 1/4 mile with it. I did 3 engine overhauls on that thing just to get it started. 3 overhauls just to get it started, to figure out how to start vehicle. It's ridiculous. And the prices on it is bad. And a top fueler, it's a 4-second car, a 3-second car in a 1/4 mile. That thing is fast. It's one of your best engines you can have. That thing makes 2 times more than the 1970 GTO that I'm gonna put on Big Tire, because I'm going max maybe like 3,000 on that Pontiac, but on the top fueler it's standing on 5.5 thousand horsepower. Now the problem is it's more the torque. It's 6,500 Newton meters torque, and it's too rough. The engine works itself out on 4 runs. You do 4/4 mile runs, and then the engine has problems with valve lifting or something happened with the head. All that stuff. Or it pushes the head gasket out. You saw that shit before, where a fucking car pushes the head gasket out. It rips through the head bolts and everything. Pushes that head gasket out.
Yeah.
So racing is it can be expensive. You don't know what you're doing. If I should have seen my Pontiac GTO to a guy that built the car for me, it should have cost me $350,000-$420,000. Where it costs me now just around at the 200 mark, because I made quite a few good money on the cryptocurrencies this year, because with the Bitcoin had climbed. I sold 345 Bitcoin this year, so I made quite good money out of crypto. Crypto is important. You can't rely your money on the racing. You need You need a second proper income, basically,
Yeah.
just to get your settled each month. So what I do each year is I will sell my Ripple, my what's that other thing you call in English? I have FTC's Stock Trump coin. They released 2 years ago. I got 3,500 coins because I did the objectives, and I never thought when it went on the market, the FTC coin, I never thought it's gonna go higher than $3 or $4 because I got 3,500 coins for free. And with this Trump that's bargaining up so much in his position, the fuck Trump coin went up in 1 year's time from $4 to all the way to $545. So I can get $545 a coin. A fucking coin, and I have 3,500 of them. So when people say crypto is a scam, I would say thank you more for me, because each coin that has been released has a limit. Even Bitcoin has a limit of coins. Doesn't mean no. At the moment now, if you want a Bitcoin, you need to wait for somebody to sell a Bitcoin before you can buy it. That Bitcoin resell. There's only, I think on the market, I think there's only 1.5 billion coins available for Bitcoin. And all 1.5 billion are sold. If you go on the site now, maybe you're lucky you can get one, but a lot of people buy and then they sell and then they buy again. And shortly after they sell it again because they buy it at a low price and then they sell it at a high price. Or if they see that it's a $200 difference, they sell. But what's cool about South Africa is...
Hey, what's up, Lone? Wait, what, Lone?
Oh, I'm with you, yeah.
Not much. Just doing some CEO stuff. That's X. Void, are you here?
What do you guys think about the Modern Warfare beta? Are you guys gonna get that game?
I'm probably not. I don't really play Call of Duty.
Well, I was a Battlefield freak, but for all of the shitty servers they're putting up, because the shit is, if I want to play Battlefield 1, you can only play with your region, so that means everybody you're playing against are South Africans. Now, if you want to join an American server, play with the Americans, I think in my country in like 300, in the 3 or 400, I think. So it doesn't help I play on that map because I can't get a kill, because if I can shoot a guy dead in the head because I'm pinging so high, that shot doesn't count. So that's why I removed myself from Battlefield completely, because of their servers. They need to switch it like Geegeeaye, where everybody can game with everybody without lagging.
If you guys are trying to get on GTA, there's only 4 people, including myself, in this session. Alright. I was trying to find somebody to do bogs with, but nobody would responded really in SOA chat.
Yeah, the bog story is a little bit of a problem now. I'm trying to chat with the council that you can maybe think of doing a bog chat maybe. But but I also said if you do that, it's just gonna be same as the SOA chat where you try to ask for a bog, because if you ask for a bog in that bog chat, you also maybe be gonna be silent. You never know. And the bog now is anyway the only reason how you can make money. But this week is double money on racing events, and I made fucking more money than a dog on racing. Because it takes you 2 minutes, and if you can get the race full of 16 players on a stunt race, you get $57,000 a race and 10,000 XP. And it takes you 2 minutes to get that 57,000. So the racing, yeah, it pays well. But you need to get the race full, or at least about 12 players. I can't believe it's almost 12 p.m. Damn.
Wait, 12 p.m. or 12 a.m.?
No, 12 p.m. It's at night already, and I need to be up at 5 a.m. to get.
Oh, you mean 12? So it's 12 a.m. So you're saying p.m. 12 p.m. is noon?
Yeah, it's almost the next day now. In 30 minutes, it's gonna be. What is today? Today is Monday. Today Monday. Yeah, today.
Yeah.
Is
So
Monday.
you mean so you mean 12 a.m. If it's nighttime, this 12 p.m. is noon.
Oh, shit. Okay. Fuck, my English is bad.
No, that's fine. So it's like 23:30 for you. Or do you guys use maritime?
Yep.
It's like 23:30. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, you see, when you guys wake up, South Africa goes to sleep. And that's shit, because for all of the crypto, I need to stay up at the night, because it's better to sell your stuff at the night as during the day. Because sometimes I lost like a few $100s on the coin just because I sold it a few hours earlier. So it's fucking shit. But I was thinking of moving. I was last year in Germany. I moved there for a month or two. I think it was almost 2 months. And bro, that didn't work well. I fucking hated that place.
In Germany?
Yeah, it's complicated for all understanding people, because they're not really English devoted actually.
Yeah.
And their language is almost the same as my language. Like the greeting part and saying goodbye, that's the same. But the rest, the people lie to me. The rest is not the same, because they said, "Oh, you will understand the German." Fuck, bro. When I spoke to a German there, I was like, "What you talking about? I don't fucking understand the word." So it's complicated. The place is complicated, and they still have xenophobia attacks, because the whole of Germany still believes in Hitler's age. So they still don't like immigrants. So once a year you will get targeted by the xenophobia attackers that marches through the town, all that shit. There's still
I mean, I guess,
stuff.
I mean, I can understand there why people would be xenophobic. I mean, here it's not as bad, but I mean, they're having acid attacks and stuff, and people were actually really getting hurt by people that were coming in.
We also, our people are also doing it now. They also fucking, we have this one street in Johannesburg. Now Johannesburg is a fuck up. It's our main central, like Washington DC is for America. Now that's Johannesburg for South Africa. But Johannesburg in South Africa is so a fuck up. Not people-wise, but political-wise, financial-wise. It's degraded. Every year it's getting worse. The streets are getting worse. The violence is getting worse. And we have this one street, they call it Jewel Street, where it's the longest street that sells cars. They only sell cars, but it's the most cars in one street any place in the world, because I think we were standing over, I think it was 150 million cars in that street. If you go into that street, it's shit long. It's like 15 k's long, that street. But the only business you get in that street is selling cars. But most of the Indians owns that car companies. And our Zulus, we have a few cultures. My culture is the white culture, that's Afrikaans. We only have one
Yeah.
for the whites, and that's Afrikaans. But the blacks has 11 cultures. You have the Zulus, you have the Xhosas, you have the Vendas, you have Tswanas, and all of them are not getting well with each other. So they starting working, and then they starting burning these Indians out, because most of the shops in South Africa are owned by Indians, and they starting pushing them out. And this, I think it's gonna get worse, because if they are out, who's next? And with this EFF that's rising up, that says white people in South Africa are still racist and we need to get banned. They want us gone. They want us gone. They still living in the old age. We are not living in the old age. We accept people who they are. Doesn't matter what color they are. But with this new party that's starting up with this red ants, they call themselves the EFF. That's a new party that racist, racial, and the main president of our country does nothing against it. Nothing. They will come on TV, they will tell this shit to the whole country, and they will not get prison sentence. If I go to TV and I'm racist, I will get locked up for 15 years. For 15 years, I will get locked up.
Really?
But if he does
Jesus.
yeah. If you be racist or you send a racist video, you can get locked up in South Africa for 15 years. But that guy, the president of the EFF, comes on TV. He says, "Fuck white people. They are racist." He wants 75% of the businesses must be black. All that shit. What happens to him? He's still walking in the streets. Nobody's locking him up for racist comments. But if somebody else does it, you're gonna get locked up. How fair is that? And how worse is this gonna get? This is only year 2 that they are part of the political side of, because we have the DA, we have the ANC. The ANC party wins every year. So they will always be one of those leaders of the ANC, will always be the president. Then we have the EFF, we have the PA, we have the AMP, we have the different parties. But the worst you can get is the ANC and the EFF, because they want change, and the change they want is not going to fit with the new world. We're not going to have the inflation increase. We're going to lose. And if they keep doing this, the countries are going to start retracting their contracts out of South Africa. We're not going to get BMWs anymore. We're not going to get cars anymore. We're not going to get import stuff anymore. We're going to get banned again like we were in 1980. It's going to go back to those years if they keep doing this shit. This new world we're living in, you need to work with all people. You can't white, or you only can work with those color people. You need to start working with all color people. That's the new world. If you're not doing that, your country is gonna fall financially bad. We're already struggling. We have every year there's 1.8 million people extra to the, what you call it, the people that's not working, that can't get jobs. That number gets added by 1.8 million a year. We're gonna get like India. India standing on almost 299 million people homeless. We are almost close to that. And we are not so populated like India. India is 3 times more populated than South Africa. And they don't even have the shit we have this side.
Jeez.
So that's why I'm stocking up. I got my 4 weapons. I have my ammunition. I'm ready. The shit strikes. I have my fuel. I have my can of foods. I am ready to go, bro. Going to Nigeria. Nigeria is gonna be the safe point if the shit strikes in South Africa. Everybody is prepping already. I'm seeing a lot of people that's buying caravans, 4x4s, prepping their garages with food. Just to be, you never know what's gonna happen in this country. You never know. It's so on and off. like 5 months back, also then stated something wrong on the news. Like, I think his sentence was like, he wanted to say that he will give his people ground to build houses. But the way he stated it, they actually took it wrong. And the next day they started hitting up squatter camps and illegal housing everywhere. And the police started shooting. It was a shootout for 2 days. The streets was fucked. Nobody could work, nobody could go shopping, nobody could do anything for 2 days. 2 days South Africa stood still. 2 days. It was bad. It was bad. And since from that attack, it's getting worse. But sweet guys, I need to climb off. I need to get up in 5 hours for work. Thank you, Arista, and I'm sorry about what happened, bro.
Yeah.
I will truly make sure I will not do it again, bro.
It's okay.
But yeah, I'm gonna get off. Gonna game. Are you gonna be on this weekend? Because I think I'm gonna game this weekend a little bit.
Yeah, I'll probably be on this weekend.
Or
I'm
maybe
usually.
I'll catch you in the week.
Yeah, I'm usually. Well, I don't know like the time difference really between us. You said it's
7
so
hours.
you're about you're about
7 to 6 hours.
Yeah.
It depends on which state you are, but I figured out the earliest is maybe 6 hours and the latest 7 hours difference.
Yeah, so normally during the week I'd be getting on probably around 12 or 1 like 24 or 01 your time.
Oh yeah, I thought so. That's why I didn't see you a lot on online. That's why I still thought you were a prospect or something.
Yeah. That's the only thing I didn't understand about that is because no prospects are added into the SOA chat until they're patched. I just didn't. That's why I was confused by it when you said that, because everybody in that chat is patched.
Yes. When I went into the SOA chat, I saw your name there, and even with the message you sent, I should have fucking realized that you're not a prospect when you send it to the SOA chat. Should have clicked on that one.
I thought you were talking to Normal when you said that. Just because he hasn't been in for I mean, he's been in for a couple months, but he hasn't been in. He's been in probably about 2 or 3 months. Like, I've been in there probably like 2 or 3 months longer than him.
I gamed with him a lot. I couldn't understand why he's still a prospect, you know, because... Yeah, I know.
With the whole Miramax situation and everything, that was... He was withheld from his patch status for a long time because there's people in council, including Miramax and stuff, who didn't want him to become patched because of his age. And
oh yeah, that's why they also tried to vote on the age drop. I remember that. Because I think the age restriction now maybe to join the SOA is maybe like 16, I think.
It's 15, but there can be exceptions depending on how the crew in general, you know, what's the word?
I would say, yeah, the exception is good, actually.
Yeah, and he's definitely the exception. Really, it's just like how the crew kind of like reacts to them, how well they work together with the crew and everything, and if they're actually active and, you know, are trying to help people with BAU and stuff. And OP did that a lot. Before he even became a prospect, he was an ally for probably about a couple weeks or a month, and, you know, he actually was very, like, the whole crew for the most part was pretty nice to him and seemed like he was already kind of a crew member, like the way he acted towards the crew and everything before he was even
I was like,
prospecting.
Damn, Normal Kid, you are so long in this club, you're still patched. Patched, still a prospect. But I forgot he was a patch member, like you said, with Miramax Tool and that stuff. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, because they were trying to stop him from being patched.
He's been long in this club, man. I mean,
yeah.
Well, can't say how long, but it's been a while. Because every time, basically, when I
it's probably been about 7 months, maybe 8 months. 9 months, something like that.
When
I don't know.
joined BAU,
Almost a year.
anything. Yes, I joined a BAU. One normal kid is there.
Yeah.
I see him a lot in sessions and stuff. So, he's not. He's really good. But you are fucking good in shooting, bro. Damn, damn. Fuck's sake. Yo, be honest. Yo. Fuck it. I give it to you. That was for that one part. I was trying to look around the corner. And I don't know, did you got a headshot or what the fuck? My guy just dropped the floor, bro. And when I tried to do the second time, he got me again. What ammunition did you use? Was it normal ammunition? Or did you also went to armor piercing or something?
No, I was, for the most part, I don't know. I just remember a lot of the kills where I was using my marksman rifle. So I have the marksman rifle Mark II. And it's pretty accurate. It doesn't have a lot of recoil and everything. I have, for the most part, fully upgraded. The only thing that really is like detrimental to it is the suppressor that I have on it. I think it reduces the range a little bit and the accuracy a little bit, but
try to remove that suppressor. Put the precision.
Yeah, I had the muzzle brake originally, but I was just tired of getting cops every time I used it. And it's just so loud, and it's actually better in my opinion to have, because even though you have less accuracy, you know, they can't hear exactly where the rounds are coming from until they're flying past them. And they can see the general direction, but they can't really hear, so that, you know, slows them down a little bit when they're...
The problem is with the suppressor part, or when you use incendiary rounds, it doesn't light up the guy until he's dead, and then if you give him then the shot with the suppressor, then he will burn up. But if you use the precision, only the precision muzzle brake, if I shoot you one time, you will run around on that map on fire. So you will be on fire, losing health, and I will shoot you on the second time. That's what I like about the precision. The suppressor doesn't, with the incendiary rounds, for some reason, it decreases the damage for some reason.
Yeah. I just use the normal rounds. I mean, I have my heavy sniper has explosives, and I have an explosive shotgun, but other than that, that's pretty much the only special ammo I use. I used to have, and it was super good, especially if you use Bull Shark. The BST.
Oh, yeah.
I had my Combat MG Mark II. I had the FMJs, the Full Metal Jackets, and you'd be able to kill somebody in 2 shots with that, body shots, with BST. And the thing about that, that's the only thing, is that I wish that, like, I understand with explosive or incendiaries why it needs to have a limited like ammo. Like, you don't have as many magazines or anything, but with FMJs or something, I really wish that they would have, or like tracer rounds. Like, I just, no real point, I guess. I don't really see any point for there to be such a limited ammo, like, for that.
There's a cool glitch I saw on YouTube you can do with your tracer rounds to make your bullet rounds a different color. So if you have it on your SMG or something and you have it fully automatic and you shoot it, you will see your rounds that's coming out as like red or purple or blue or...
Yeah.
Tracer rounds is something else. But I can glitch that shit out.
I had a friend who had glitched his, and he had FMJ rounds, but he had the normal amount of ammo. So he had just pretty much infinite, and he could buy it from his ammo list in the inventory, so he pretty much just had like a normal MG but with FMJs and not have to worry about ammo.
Yeah, he's lucky because he did it before I noticed it when they patched it. So
yeah.
That is not actually, it's patched, but I think there's still maybe a way to get it done, but it's going to be a little bit harder. Because I see every time when I patch something, the process to get it glitched again, this gets a little bit longer.
That's why I'm actually, because there has to be workarounds and stuff.
Like
but
this,
I'm gonna try to look that up sometime, probably tonight, see if I can maybe get FMJ rounds on it again. Because that would really be, especially towards, you know, Mongols and stuff that come into our session and try to kill us when we're unorganized. It would really help.
Did you know when GTA 5 Online was still new, like still in the beginning stage, like the few first months, You could have taken any car off the road, and you could have the cars you can sell that you take off the road. You
Yeah.
could have sold them for $40,000, and you will not get a cooldown time. So what happens now is if you take like 6 cars out of the garage, cars you
Yeah,
bought with your
there's
own
a
money,
daily
that
sell
insurance
limit,
cost.
and it's like eight cars, I think,
Yes.
within 32 hours. And this is what I learned
Or
when I started duping cars. And if you sell more than 8 within 32 hours, it gradually lowers your daily sell limit until you're only at 1. So they don't really ban people for it anymore. They just
8 vehicles or 1.5 million. So if you sell one vehicle for 1.5 million, you can't
well,
sell another vehicle for more.
well, no, because
That
I
I
used
saw
to I used to
a few
sell
times.
my arena war vehicles, the little like Issies or whatever, the Mini Coopers. I'm trying to remember how much. I think they sold for like two. They used to sell for like 2.7 or something. I'd be able to sell 7 of those in a day without having to worry about
Because I
cooldown.
saw if you sell a car for 1.5, or you just sell it below 1.5, and you just drive around for like 30 minutes, then it will go on the 8 vehicle thing. But if you take like 8 cars and you sell it like now, like in 5
One
minutes,
right after
8
the other.
vehicles in 5 minutes, run after another, like, and the value is like 1.5 million, you can only sell like 2. But if you take a break and you run around, you do a little bit of a VIP work, or you just keep yourself busy for 5 minutes or so, and you take that other car and you sell that, and you wait for another 10 minutes and you take another 1.5 million vehicle car, it will not give you the cooldown time for 48 hours. It will not give you that cooldown time. So that's actually cool. But they also upped the was, I think, 1.2 million. It's now standing in the 2 million range. So if you take basically your weekly plus your daily and your monthly, you can make $8 million in GTA a month, just by doing your dailies.
The daily
You only need-
objectives.
Yep, and you just need one friend, bro. Most of them wants a death match, or you need to participate in the death match. The one I really hate is the one that says do a rally race, because then you need 4 players, because the shit is with the rally races, you are the driver and you have a co-driver that shows you where to go, and so yeah, then you need 4, because that adversary mode only wants to start on 4 people, doesn't want to start on 2. That's an issue. And to get that thing done, if you accidentally have a random in that doesn't know where the checkpoints is, and his co-driver doesn't. Okay, it's now 12 p.m. You see 12 a.m. actually on the dot. I'm gonna get off.
Alright.
But I will be on tomorrow and definitely this weekend, because tomorrow's Tuesday, and Tuesdays and Fridays is, bro, I just leave my guys to do their work, and then I jump to other shit, and I come to home and then I sit here at home, because I don't like to see how people work. And then, you know, if you're standing supervising because you're the boss, and you checking how the guy strips, you always want to tell him, hey bro, do it like this, and you know how the guy gets. He gets angry because you're telling him how he needs to do his work, but so yeah.
Well,
So,
I mean,
yeah,
if you're
give
the
him work and-
if you're the supervisor, like, I mean,
Well,
that's your
I'm
job.
not the supervisor.
Oh.
I'm basically the boss. It's just when I look how they do stuff and how they strip stuff, then I'm like, no. I'm gonna do it like this, and then I get that look. And when I get that look, then I want to fucking snap on that whole workshop. Because the way I strip is the correct way. And the way they want to do it is the fast way. And I don't like fast ways. I don't like shortcuts. I like to do it the way you were learned. And when I was learned, my grandfather was, I would say, was one of the best master technicians I ever known.
Real quick, I don't mean to sound rude. I'm just trying to help because you're saying English wasn't your first language. When you said
Yes.
you were learned, for that you'd want to say taught. When you were taught, like you learned something, but you were taught that thing.
Yeah, yeah. I went to a, what you call it? It's not a school. It's like more like a preschool for. That learns you other stuff. I would say it's like a special school, but you can like the school the state gives you. You can only learn certain subjects. Now to do the extra subjects for like business studies and mechanical and all that shit, you need to go to college. You need to do it through a college. You can't take that as an extra subject on school, because on school the government doesn't support those extra subjects because they can't afford it. Like the chef part for the schools, they can't afford. So even though if you want to do your chef hours and to learn to be a chef and or even a proper waiter and that stuff, everything needs to go through something else. Even when I did my mechanics, when I was just entering high school in grade 8, I started with the mechanicalism. My grandfather, even when I was 5 years old, when he had problems with his speed, because he's the one that gave me the track for the experience and the, what you call it, the morale to do it and to progress in it. But every time when something shitted, he was like, Jack, and I'm like, oh fuck. Then what is it now? Is it a gearbox? What must I do now? So from a young age, my grandfather forced me a tool in my hand. I was forced. But it was actually a good thing. I learned a lot. And even when I was 15, when I was working at Toyota, they was like, yes, this guy's too young to work here. He knows fuck all. But yeah, I showed them, and I was, you know, the D4D, the Hilux D4D, that was between the 2008 and like the Legend 40 and the Legend 35. Those differential, the gear ratios on the center portion and the diff, and the gearbox was my design. My design. That wasn't other Japanese. The Japs had created the engine and that stuff, and all the other stuff that gets added to the vehicle they designed. But morely, the part they gave me was more the ratios of the engine. You know, what they said, this is the power, this is what you suspect, so what you're gonna do about the gearbox part. And I was like, okay, let's figure this shit out. And that was actually fun to just, that was my first design that I did, like design a gearbox, like my own design that I did on a gearbox. That was something else, because I mean, even when I completed it, I had gearbox lockups, the all on the automatics, the pressure to pump the oil from the gear 2 from gear 3 chamber, that didn't work. So yeah, I had a lot of flaws in my design the first time. They took a while, but yeah, I did it, and they fucking paid me well for that shit. The design stuff for them is tricky, bro. It's tricky, and they make it difficult for you because you're asking so nice, you need this special graded part, and they say no because the value of the vehicle is going to be that. You need to make another plan, and they're not going to help you to make the other plan. So you need to work shit yourself out. How are you going to get it better? How are you going to get it work with the parts you have in front of you, the machines you have in front of you to get it built? That was the problem. That's why I didn't design a 6-speed dual mass gearbox. I designed a single mass because when I did the dual mass design on that D4Ds, it was fuck up. And it was lazy. It didn't have the torque on the off-road. Even when you did the turbo thing on it with a caravan, and it was problems, prop shaft vibrations, worn ticket shafts, all that kind of shit. And my first design on the input shaft very damaged the engine on 100,000 k. The whole crank, because your input shafts it's plugged into your crankshaft, and with the vibration that comes off from the prop and that moves into the input shaft, it eventually caused a vibration in the main engine. So the vibration moved through the camshaft into the column rods, and it started venting into the valve. So after 1,000 miles, 100,000 miles, the engine is ruined, and not like ruined, like overall ruined, like replacement ruined, because it's starting making cracks inside the block. Because they don't want to give me aluminium, they only give me cast iron, and I don't like to use cast iron blocks. I don't like cast iron. Cast iron is not a block that can last you a lifetime. Only aluminium blocks or something else can last you a lifetime. But aluminium is expensive. I mean, just an aluminium block is 2 times the price of a cast iron. And then you need to put an aluminium valve, you need to have an aluminium sleeves, all that shit. So your design that you have means fuck all. If they're trying to change fucking metal components inside. So designing stuff is for cars, it's shit, and that's why I left Toyota. I worked there for 6 years and I left, and I started my own thing. It's better. But sweet, bro, I'm gonna get off. We'll maybe see you tomorrow this weekend.
Okay.
I need to be up in 5 hours. Why I need to get so punished. But sweet, bro.
Alright. See ya. Jesus. Fucking ask one question, get a goddamn life story. Fucking hell. Void, you still here? Void, the guy's gone. Void! Ah, Void. Void.